Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And some days I feel like, boy, if you just had a good speed square and a carpentry pencil, you could solve all the world's problems. And what I'm going to talk about today are the carpentry pencils. I really like these things. I use them all the time. I've got tons of them. They're all over the place. I actually use the orange ones in survival kits. I'll get to that in a moment. But basically, if you didn't know, a carpentry pencil is supposed to be 7 inches long, 1/4 inch wide, or 1/4 inch thick, and 1/2 inch wide. And to my knowledge, none of them are. So don't use them for any serious measurement. In fact, take this guy here. This is 7 inches across here. This one's short. Most of them are too short. They're 6 and change. As far as the thickness, you can see there's a 1/4 inch. This one here, it's a little too thick there. This is supposed to be 1/2 inch, a little too wide because you can see the half marker there. Home Depots are usually worse. This one, what do we got here? If we look, this is it's about 5/16 there, and our half is actually about 9/16. So it's off a ways, and we go to the length again, and it comes up short. We measure it to that spot there. So they aren't the most accurate thing. They have a unique shape. That's to keep them from rolling, although I did notice that Home Depot's got a bunch of round ones now, but they do have the thicker lead. I've used others like this guy here, which has a replaceable long piece of lead. And I even have one, a carpentry pencil that's plastic that has the lead. And I like this guy too. I don't use an eraser with a carpentry pencil. This one you don't have to sharpen. Let's see how close this guy is. Way off there on a 1/4 and way off on a 1/2. For sharpening carpentry pencils, most people use a knife, but there are actual, carpentry pencil sharpeners that you can get nice tips on. That's what did this. However, most people grab a knife and just kind of start going to town using it like this. They don't actually do the big gross movement things. You do very fine ones, and then you don't wreck the lead. You can also take a carpentry pencil and throw it on a like a band saw. I used a disc sander for these, and then you can get a really fine wedge, and then this allows you to do some really precise marks. You can grind it down on the 1/4 inch side or the 1/2 inch side. That allows you to make thick or thin marks, but use it as a really fine marking tool. And then that takes the place of when we often go to a traditional pencil because we need a fine mark. So these are great. I have ones that I've ground down. I don't use them as my regulars because then I would have to keep grinding them down, but it doesn't take very long. Sometimes I'll do both sides. That way I don't have to stop if I'm measuring fence boards or something to resharpen it. And when I do, I'm quick with a pocket knife or a utility knife. The different flavors of these guys, I haven't noticed a quality difference. I've had some that must have been dropped hard or something because the graphite, which you call lead, kept breaking off. But overall, they're amazing. You can run them all the way down till they're just little nubs. So that initial 7 inches really doesn't matter. One of the other things, though, is I use these in survival kits because a lot of times you want a pencil in a survival kit, and well, these are orange, so they're easy to find, and I do like the Home Depot ones. They're quite good. And ta-da, made in USA, from 100% wood. Why is that important? I've had some that I don't know what they're made of. It feels wrong, feels off, and actually if you heat them, they start to bend. So they must be some kind of fake material. I've noticed a lot of small pencils are also made with that, not the Dixon here, but they're made with some sort of an artificial material. But anyway, there are a couple of things with the orange pencil. first of all, it's a source of wood, so if I wanted to make some kindling for a fire, you know, to get things going, I can just shave off my pocket knife the wood to start a fire. They're orange. Some people use them in self-defense. Looks like a carpenter's pencil, but you can also, because it's so strong, you know, it's a chunk of wood, that you can use it as a defensive tool. And they're easy to find. I like the brighter colors. Sometimes the darker ones, like this blue, I've had black, and you know, you drop it in the grass or something, and it's like, where is it? Milwaukee's also pushing the... I don't have a Milwaukee Carpenter's pencil. I don't know. I hope they make one, and I'd like to get one. They do make this Inkzol. If you haven't seen these, they make a kind of a Milwaukee Sharpie. Sell them pretty cheap. But anyway, you've always got a knife handy. So anytime you come up against a carpentry pencil that needs a little blade work, like this thing, it's pretty messed up. You know, it's pretty easy, you know, to finish it off, get it nice. If you want to take off some wood, but you're risking, you know, breaking the lead because it's sticking out, very easy to do. And in fact, sometimes this is a good break in your job, you know, just to think about things, and something kind of both primal and relaxing about using a knife to sharpen a pencil. So if you want to tune them up, you can use sandpaper to get that perfect tip to make a nice clean line. Basically, this is graphite and sand. That's how they control the hardness of what we call the lead. Graphite is a really soft material. It's soft mineral, and if you mix it with sand, which is a pretty hard mineral, ground up sand, you can adjust essentially the hardness. So most of these are probably number 2s, which is hard enough to be a good writer. In other words, grease pencils would be like really soft. Full graphite, they're just messy and smear all over. Number 2 seems to be about right. As you get harder, you might end up scratching material if you're writing on paper, or not leaving enough of the graphite. So that's how they end up mixing these: graphite with clay, graphite with sand, or some other material, just to harden it up a little bit. But overall, they're great. They're inexpensive. Often they give them away at building supply places, so you know, I don't have any trouble, you know, building out my collection of these guys to have them everywhere. But I also keep them in toolboxes, even for you know, mechanical stuff, not just carpentry, because they're just that useful. So I wish Snap-on made one. Wouldn't that be nice? Snap-on could pay $5 for it instead of just free. Anyway, if you've got other uses for carpentry pencils, let me know, because I'm always learning. And if you don't have some, or you don't use them, get them. And with that, Doc out.